The NBA has released the 2018 All-Defensive First Team and Second Team awards. So let's go through all the players. First up is Robert Covington from the 76ers. Now this is interesting because he makes it onto the first team list, but his teammate Joel Embiid does not. Wow. And that could be because Embiid didn't play in every game. Remember, he started off the season with a restriction. He didn't play back-to-backs. Then at the end of the season, he missed some time because he got popped in the eye by Markelle Fultz. But the 76ers were ranked third in defense in the NBA. Their rating was a 99-0 when Covington was on the court. It was 107.4 when he was off the court. Next up is Anthony Davis from the Pelicans. This is interesting because with no Joel Embiid in this list, it's kind of hinting that, hey, maybe Anthony Davis is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. He averaged 2.5 blocks per game, which led the NBA, and he also finished 5th in defending the rim. Next up is Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz. The Jazz were the second-ranked best defensive team. And with Rudy Gobert on the court, opponents that played the Jazz shot 10% worse than expected. Next up is Jrue Holliday from the Pelicans. And this is another reason why Anthony Davis and why the Pelicans, their defense was so good, because you got Davis in the paint. On the perimeter, you had Jrue Holliday harassing everybody. The 5th and final selection for the first team is actually a little bit of a surprise. You got Victor Oladipo from the Indiana Pacers. He's probably going to win the Most Improved Player award. Oladipo averaged a league-leading 2.3 steals per game. But to make it into the first team, that is very impressive. Now we're going to move on to the all-defensive second team. First up is Jimmy Butler. He averaged a career-high 1.97 steals per game. He was 4th in the NBA. Next up is Joel Embiid from the 76ers. Opponents shot 7.8% worse than expected on all field goal attempts when Embiid was the closest defender. And that led the NBA in that stat category. Next up is Draymond Green from the Golden State Warriors. He was the Defensive Player of the Year for 2017, and he was one of 4 qualifying players this season to average 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks per game. 4th on this list is Al Horford from the Boston Celtics. He helped the Celtics to an NBA defensive rating of 101.5 points allowed per 100 possessions. Last but not least, we got Murray from the Spurs in his 2nd season. He ranked 2nd among point guards in defensive rebounding percentage, behind only Russell Westbrook. Let me know what you think of the all-defensive first and second teams. If you would put anybody else in any of these slots. Did anybody get snubbed? Let me know in the comments section. See that? This thing is blocking his attack. He can't do anything to me. I'm cheesing. They made a mistake giving me environment, giving me this cover. Oh, look at this. There's a little light thing. I can probably hit that with the arrows, right? And it'll do some damage. You think